us. And well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to ESGT Official for the first and opening round of the GT4 series here from Brands Hatch. It is, of course, my name is DirtenDK. I'm here with Chumpy in the booth, and we're going to take you through the action, awaiting the start of the qualifying session. It's going to happen in just a matter of moments, as we're here with the live pictures, of course, joined by the ever, at least in my streams, present Murray Walker at the bottom of the screen.
You're certainly right. We're expecting a lot of action here today, as this is the first round out of the 6 for the ESGT GT4 series.
Yeah, indeed, and we've got a stacked grid for tonight here, a very strong field of contenders. Let's just go through a couple of the names here. We've got Virtual Life Experience represented by Nova and Huetzo Caceres, and it's going to be a spicy combo in the BMW M4. We've got Kinetic GTS with Fullness and X11 as well. They're going to be racing a Chevrolet and a Lexus. That we've got the qualifier set to begin in a couple of seconds now, by the way. We've got DNA racing here with Dr. Lovejuice. Gotta love that gamer tag indeed. Judoka as well for DNA. Puerto Rico E-Racing Club. I've had my fair share of trouble coining that team name. I think I just nailed it pretty good, but that's Autista lining up for them in another one of the Dutch Vipers. We've got Lamp and Darkrai for Phoenix. We've got Nico. We've got Ismailik, and we've got the non-present J. Miguel D1 for One Racing Esports. And am I missing anyone here? We've got Single Filer for Vanquish as well.
Yeah.
And then a single privateer, Bonjour Storm, the man otherwise formerly known as Avub. A good friend of mine as well. We'll be getting a lot of privateer love as a private behind.
Yep. Just some information about the race today. There are no tire requirements, meaning all drivers can run from hards to softs, and there is no requirement there. Tire wear and fuel is going to be 3 times and 4 times respectively. Brands Hatch is a 8-turn track, very short, but it's going to be great action for these GT4 cars. We are also expecting the BMW to perform well, and some drivers that you're going to want to look out for are Darkrai and Nova from Teams Phoenix and Virtual Life Experience respectively, as they have shown their pace through free practice today.
Yeah, for sure, and I'd have an open eye or two at Single Filer as well, who usually does very well indeed. I'm not quite sure how the Viper is going to handle Brands Hatch here, of course. I mentioned a circuit that really puts in a diverse number of challenges to both driver and car, because you need a decent amount of top speed, but you also need to be able to cope with the technical nature, the bumpy nature of the track as well. And that mid to final sector there with Westfield through Dingledale, those very fast right-handers on the back of the track always prove a big challenge around here.
Yeah, and the Viper exceeds in handling, so they're not going to have any problem with the bumps. But someone that is going to have a little bit of a struggle is going to be the Chevy driver that rear-wheel drive, as well as any Ferrari and Lamborghini drivers from other divisions as well.
I imagine the Ferrari and Lamborghinis to be quite the mouthful around here.
Yeah.
Only real problem I think for the BMWs could be the thirst of that car. It really likes to drink fuel. It does so more than happily. So we could be seeing a tactical disadvantage for the BMWs in this series in general.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have a great jolly good time in qualifying as they're just going to suck that fuel away. But in the race, you're going to have to conserve a lot more than normal as we get our first times in here. As Lamb from Team Phoenix goes fastest. Behind him is Dr. Lovejuice from Team DNA, driving for Porsche.
Yeah, Dr. Lovejuice fielding the only Cayman GT4 in this series. Oh, as someone takes a spinner there behind, that's Huetzo in that VLX BMW going sideways into Surtees. And that's not going to be a very good lap for him.
Yep.
Nova there with a good, that's a good
experience. Takes that second from Lovejuice.
That's a very good lap, 1:28.6. So as you mentioned, indeed the BMW M4 proving to be very competitive here.
Yeah.
Now further down the order here, early days. In 12th place, it's Autista for the Puerto Rico E-Racing Club. Not really having set a smooth lap yet, it seems. Single filer Migo Kinetic X11 at the bottom of affairs until now. Serious man. We've got 15 minutes of qualifying left. So still no alarm bells ringing for those who haven't been able to set a decent time yet. Also, a thing that we should mention upon here for the qualifying session is that fuel and tire wear is disabled to make sure that.
Yeah, qualifying has. Well, no, not in this qualifying. I think that's the other series that's running, because I can see tire wear and fuel wear on my side. So. I think tire wear and fuel wear is enabled for qualifying around here.
It actually is enabled.
Yep.
As though I remember as reading as it should be disabled. That might be me having misread something. That might be quite possibly what it is, to be honest. Anyway, something I've completely missed out on doing is welcoming everyone tuning in here tonight. Lorenzi, nice to have you along. Felix as well. And you two finding out that you indeed live 20 minutes from one another in real life, and the world is indeed a very small place. Chumpy and I are separated by half a globe, more or less. Chumpy being in Texas, me being in Northern Europe. So,
yeah. I mean, I'll find some friends around here, I bet. They'll take some time.
Well, we have Lamp mentioning
maybe,
that
Cooper was supposed to be turned it off because Lamp just sent out a message saying it was supposed to be off. So maybe it is supposed to be off, but for this qualifying session, it is not going to be turned off.
So a little bit of an extra challenge as well for the drivers. That's going to mean that they're going to be wanting to burn as much fuel as possible, and then they'll be trying to get fresh tires, get that outlap done with as little time as possible remaining, basically.
Yep, and Nova goes fastest with a 1:28.476.
Oh, that's 0.02 of a second up on Lamp at the moment. So those two incredibly close. Single filer just 0.2 of a second down. It's 2 further tenths down to Dr. Lovejuice. We got the other VLX BMW of Huetzo Cacares, who I think just had another spin. Basically, he's back into the pits. That's suboptimal for him.
Yeah, but sadly, the session has been given the restart because of that fuel and tire wear. So the session will be restarted because of the fuel and tires problem. Again, it's the first race, so there's always going to be those little things that delay, just like every first race in a series.
If this is the only delay we're going to be facing, I think we'll take it gladly, more than gladly, to be honest. It could be Could be a lot worse, so we'll just be keeping our fingers crossed that the gods of sim racing is with us today and give us good lobby connections. No cars bouncing around, and please no disconnects. So are we waiting for...
We're waiting for the drivers to exit the track, so we can restart with the new settings. Some more information about the race today. We are taking place at 5 o'clock in the morning, 24 laps during the race. Qualifying, as you saw earlier, will be 20 minutes without the fuel or tire wear, which in the race will be 4 times tire wear and 3 times the fuel consumption. All cars have their own BOP assignments as well, and all assists are prohibited besides traction control and ABS.
That's some very useful pieces of information from Champy there. Now, strategy-wise for this race, 24 laps, tires times 4, fuel times 3. Looking at a 2-stopper, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I think we're looking for a 2 to 3 stop. The BMWs might have to stop 3 times because, again, of that fuel consumption. And front tire wear is going to be a huge thing around here as well, with a lot of heavy braking into turn 1 and also into turn 8 as well, primarily.
So Doc right now changed the settings, and we're just going to be left with 11 minutes of qualifying. So we're going to be keeping schedule. By the way, shout out to Felix's mom, who's watching with him. What a nice thing to have your mom watching along. I wish my mom wanted to watch some of my broadcasts. Mom, what a dumb actually my mom is. I think my mom is generally very proud of her son, overly proud of basically everything I do that isn't terrible. But that's mothers for you. Right there, we've got qualifying just about to...
Yep, qualifying is just about to go up for the restart after our little inconvenience there.
And the livery game is strong, I think, for these cars.
Yes, the livery game is very strong with all of the teams, Phoenix, One Racing, Vanquish, Virtual Life Experience, all of these teams bringing their own customized liveries, which I've got to admit, they look really good. The Kinetic one has the yellow and the bluish black paint to it. All the Phoenix liveries have that purple, white, black mix with the yellow, depending on which sub-team, I guess you would call it, they're on. Vanquish running that green. I mean, all these liveries, even if they're not on a team, just really well done.
Shout out, of course, to the privateer, the number 91 Corvette of Bonjour Storm, the biggest, the walking meme that is Arup these days after his name change. So he's actually chosen to become Bonjour Storm, which is just mildly entertaining to.
What was his old name again?
It was Arup, a French streamer. He's also involved with the IGTL and such.
Okay.
And the Bonjour Storm, I think it's a reference to Veloce Storm.
Yep, and we're kicking qualifying off right now. The time has been reduced to 11 minutes as they don't want to delay it any further. So it will be an 11-minute qualifying now instead.
Yeah, the drivers are going to be in somewhat of a hurry. Not too much time to mess around for this one, that's for sure. As we get the cars back on track here for the quick out laps.
Each lap around here is approximately 1.5 minutes, so it's going to take them It's going to give him about 5 laps, I'd say.
There's the 2 Phoenix Esports cars.
Yeah, the 2 Phoenix cars going side by side in the, turn 3.
Getting a little too close to one another for comfort there, I'd say. That's Darkrai and Lamb.
Yeah, Lamb being one of the GT Sport finalists as well, so he is someone to keep an eye out for as well.
Generally, I would have to say the Phoenix team is looking very competitive here. Oh, who's there? That's Judoka and the DNA Viper,
yeah, that's
going
Judoka
slowly.
slowing down.
Judoka, of course. Judoka! But indeed, going slowly on the racing line, of course, with the hazard lights on, but almost caused a bit of an upset. They're running very closely together, something that you would want to avoid.
Yeah, it must be teammate here.
Oh yeah, of course.
Teammate day here at Brands Hatch, because his teammate Love Juice is also in front of him as well.
It's funny to see how the teams are trying to align the cars up for a bit of a tow. Let's see if it's going to be a change of positions on the next lap, so then turn the advantage around.
As the drivers finish their out laps and start their first flying lap of this session. It's great to see all different diversity, great diversity in this racing league. We have all people from all over the place. We have people from France, people from America, people from Portugal, people from Britain. We have like even people from Australia, which is cool.
That's really
so we
cool.
have all types of people racing.
That's the entire globe connected here. The Netherlands represented by a single filer as well. You mentioned Portugal with quite a number of drivers. Oh, that's both the DNA cars going through.
Is that Love Juice going off?
They went very wide through Westfield there, and then Love Juice going wide again. Just gonna catch another look.
Hit a dent in his qualifying.
Let's go on board with Judoka here. Oh, indeed carrying very big speed into that right-hander, and that was never gonna happen.
Yep, as the drivers come around the last corners to finish their first flying lap here at Brands Hatch.
They stand. Lamb 1:27.3. That's a very, very good lap time.
That's a very good lap time, yes.
And no one is really even that close to it.
No one can top that on this first lap.
No, Wetzo for a virtual life experience is the closest one, just under 4/10 of a second down.
Yeah.
We've got Darkrai, Smeldic, we've got Artista, Bonjour Storm,
and he goes 1.5 tenths slower than Lamb. And he's still got 7 minutes to make that time up, so we'll see how it pans out.
So it looks as if it's going to be a showdown between the BMWs and the Hondas for the time being. But knowing the NSX is quite a bit stronger on its fuel consumption than the BMW M4, that might, in the race itself, turn out to be a bit of an advantage when it comes to the pit stops. We could see the Hondas gaining time.
Yeah, definitely. I think the BMW has the advantage in qualifying, but the NSX has overall better race pace. Lamb improves his lap, making it a 1:27.2. Lamb is here with 6 minutes left to go with provisional pole in his hands.
Yeah, Lamb is looking really good for this one. We've got Nova now.
Coming around the final turn.
Yeah, here across the line for a 1:27.376. So that's still a 10th off of Lamb. That improvement being necessary. Wetzo still half a second off than Darkrai, teammate of Lamb in And the other one of the NSXs now in 4th, Autista. In the Vipers in 5th place, we've got Single Filer and another one of the Vipers in 6th. Dr. Lovejuice in the Cayman in 7th place at the moment. It's X11 for Kinetic in 8th, and then
Yep.
this Metalic for 1 in 9th. Interesting. We're looking at another improvement for Lamb. He's rounding the final corner as we speak.
He crosses the line and
That is
does
gonna be-
improve, making it a 27.2 once again, about 7/100ths faster.
Indeed, and Darkrai also improves on his best time. That's up into 3rd place. Single Filer gets into the 27s as well.
Nova's rounding the final corner as well.
We're having a look at
See
it
if
here.
he has a response to Lamb.
That's not going
It's
to be
going to
any
be
type
a
of
no
response.
from Nova.
Still 4.5 minutes remaining, so they have time to improve. Although time is indeed running out by now.
Darkrai goes into the pits as well, coming back out.
We're trying to catch some.
We have someone off the track. It looks like
Yeah,
10th position, Coolness from Team Kinetic, going off between turn 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna need a little bit more of a view on that one. Here it comes. On the exit of Paddock Hill, just picks up. The gravel goes sideways and straight into the Armco barrier. Well, that's actually steel, it's not Armco, but...
Yeah.
Never mind that. It's a big off indeed. And that's not gonna help Fullness in any way. Seeming to struggle ever so slightly with the Corvette.
Yep. As we have 3 minutes and 20 seconds left to go. Lamb is really abusing the track limits, getting every last millisecond he can from this track.
Watching Lamb through turn 1 here on board. Really throw it in, and that is indeed just about overstepping it. But if you don't go off in turn 1, I think you're good. And
Yeah.
Lamb with a very good sector time through the first one there. Second sector still half a tenth up on his personal best pole position time, so it's looking really good for Lamb. PX7, it's Phoenix Esports.
Oh, we also have another person off 6th position, it's X11, also from Team Kinetic.
Yeah, just still standing, it seems. And having been so for quite some time, because I couldn't see anything. That's
Yeah,
quite
Lamb
the improvement.
goes faster, 1:27.05.
That is incredibly fast indeed. And
That is
really-
going to be hard to top.
Oh, and Nova's been off. Nova's been off big time.
Oh, no.
That's at Dingledale. We are on board with the Brit. Oh yeah, just gets off.
Darkrai drops down to 4th, but he is on his fastest lap right now. Going blue.
So we're gonna catch straight up with that Darkrai, trying to get perhaps even onto the front row of affairs here. Let's see.
Darkrai goes second fastest. It looks like it's going to be a provisional front row lockout from Team Phoenix.
Team Phoenix in those NSXs really putting the pace to the best of use here in qualifying. VLX.
Yeah, as we get to our last minute here at Brands Hatch.
So it's going to be the last attempt for Nova to improve upon that lap time. Let's see Wetzo, he's...
And that's going to take a hit into Darkrai's last lap. He has got a penalty.
That is goes through 0.5 of a second. That's gonna be it. Single filer's done for today. Let's keep an eye on the lap times being set here at the final.
We have another driver off at what looks like to be turn 6. This Madalik from Team 1 Esports.
Oh yeah, I see that. That doesn't look... Oh, it just loses the rear end. And that's going to be the end of his session, that's for sure. Here, Lamb with a big moment in the final corner.
Right. Drivers are on their final laps. Qualifying has ended, so the checkered flag is out.
So that's going to be it. Let's see. Darkrai, of course, not going to
also did go off too.
Yeah, Nova's been it big time. 11 seconds. I think Huezo made it onto a final lap just by 10 seconds or so. I'm trying to follow the Australian on his way around. Oh, as he catches the gravel there as well, and that's gonna put an end to that lap, I think.
Yeah, he didn't spin it though. So that was a good save by him.
Kept it under control, but just about. He's almost a second down on personal best. Question is that gonna be the last car to actually cross the line here? It could look like it. No, Altista.
Seeing how many drivers are going off here in qualifying, I'd like to see how many go off in the race. So it's going to be a high action race, especially the first 2 laps.
It's going to be extremely important to keep track position for the drivers on the opening couple of laps indeed, because it isn't exactly an easy place to overtake. Of course, you do have your opportunities, and they will show themselves, especially in, well, turn 1, that's Paddock Hill, and in turn 2, especially Druids, provides good opportunity for overtaking. From there on, it's a little bit hard actually to get that squeeze in, and that's also, of course, due to the narrow nature of the track.
And as our final driver crosses the line, that is going to be the end of qualifying. Front row lockout for Team Phoenix, as well as a 3rd and 4th for Virtual Life Experience.
I'm just always overwhelmed by how fast PB has chosen to take away the qualifying standings as they show them there at the end of the session. Anyway, there's another chance to catch a glimpse of him here.
Single filer is in 5th, X11 is in 6th. We have Austria, Autista, sorry, in 7th is Madalik in 8th. I don't know behind the 8th position here. Let me grab it. 9th, we have Dr. Love Juice from Team DNA. Bonjour Storm 10th.
Oh, and they're off.
Fullness 12th. And Camago 13th. And they go off.
And that's a very good start for Nova in the VLX BMW, who's up into 2nd position, and he's taken teammate Huezo with him up into 3rd. Brilliant start for the BMWs in the VLX colors. And that's Darkrai down into 4th position. Single filer having kept 5th. It's Kinetic X11 in 6th, Autista 7th, and Ismidlik in 8th
Some
place.
drivers going off in that turn 3, I think it is.
Yeah, it's down in Graham Hill corner now, up through Surtees they come. On a little bit of argy-bargying there and behind Ismidlik. Bonjour Storm and Autista all scrapping for it. Let's see here. There's a bit of a penalty being served for Ismidlik at this early stage. That's going to be very costly indeed. Almost running in with teammate there, Pamigo, at the end of affairs. Close stuff and a very close field here on lap 1 still. Come around the backside of the track. Going a little off track and not enough to really cause trouble. Let's have another look at the start. I'd like to have an onboard view with the VLX Nova, who even gives a bit of a bump to the rear end of Lamb in the number 3 Phoenix Esports NSX.
Yeah. Darker Eye losing 2 positions as well, giving them the virtual life experience. Saw some good overtaking done by both of the drivers.
So lap 2 still Lamb leading Nova, Huetso, Darkrai, then it's Single Filer in 5th, X11 Autista, and Bonjour Storm the Privateer in the Corvette. It's up into 8th place.
And behind Bonjour Storm is Fullness, and then we have both DNA drivers in 10th and 11th respectively, followed by his Madeline and Pamigo in 12th and 13th.
So it's been a sub-optimal start for
Darker Eye goes for the move.
Oh, and a little bit of a notch between the two, I think.
Single Filer is going to take a big profit off of that, moving up into 4th as Hueso gets a 4-second penalty. We don't know whether that's a contact penalty or a shortcut penalty either. And for those who don't know, shortcut penalties do not have to be served. However, contact penalties do not have to be served. Shortcut penalties, however, do have to be served as Hueso serves it on the main straight.
So we take it that he expects himself to have been wide there and pick up that penalty for leaving the track limits. Although they did have a little bit of contact, the 2 cars, so it could have been a contact penalty. Although I'd expect Darkrai to pick up a penalty as well had it been contact related between the 2.
Yeah, and that puts Darker Eye and Single Filer up a position. For the first 2 drivers already starting to pull away, and Nova loses it into turn 4.
Big moment for VLX Nova that completes an absolutely disastrous lap for the virtual life experience here. Let's have another look at what happened for the Brit. He's coming into Surtees, just losing the rear end under braking. I think maybe picking up a little bit of grass underneath that right rear end. And that's gonna drop Nova right down the order into last place. Now doing battle with Pamigo. So that's really played into the hands of the 2 Phoenix Esports NSXs, who now seem to be comfortably cruising.
Yeah, Darker Eye gets a penalty, so Single Filer might be able to get a 2nd position off of this.
As I call upon them, the double curse of the commentator, me cursing Darkrai to pick up the penalty, and then you cursing Single Filer to almost lose it in the final corner. There's some serious curses going on here. Single Filer having really profited.
Adelic is heavily profiting off of this as well. He's gone up into 7th position.
That's absolutely incredible. Look at that Huetso up into 8th, and just about as you say that, his Madeline goes wide. Huetso now waits out. Was there contact between the 2? His Madeline picks up a 2-second penalty. I'd imagine that for being wide as well. At Druid's corner, let's see. We're gonna have another look here as they come through Paddock Hill. Very close indeed. And I think there is contact, and that is what sent the Portuguese wide. And then a bit of contact there with the kinetic car as well. That's bad luck.
A lot of the drivers are really losing it around the high-speed corners.
So, called this as an eventful race, Chump here. It has very much been just that here for the opening 4 laps. As we're coming on to lap 5, it's Lamb leading Darkrai, and Single Filer still within touching distance. And just as we say that, the Dutchman goes off at the final corner. And that's gonna let through Autista up into 3rd place. And we're gonna have another look at that incident. On board here we are with Single Filer. Just understeering onto the gravel, and there is absolutely no keeping it on the tarmac. It's like It's like a dark hole. It has a lot of suction power to bring you wide, that gravel on the outside. Bonjour Storm in the Corvette up into 5th place. Also really taking advantage of the war of attrition that's actually going on.
Same goes for Autista. He's worked his way up into 3rd as well.
Brilliant stuff. Dr. Lovejuice up into 6th. DNA Cars has done well, very well actually. It's going up through. The Cayman GT4 is very strong on fuel as well. So be a bad call for Dr. Lovejuice to just stay behind the Viper and Corvette, which I'd imagine to be more thirsty than the Porsche when it comes to...
The Volex drivers are also looking like they're trying to make a comeback. Right behind the 7th through 9th position drivers, as Nova looks like he's about to go on for a move on X11 from Team Kinetic. X11 goes defensive and remains to hold. No, is Nova going to go around the outside?
Stay too wide through that final corner. Nova on the outside gets the run here. Huetzo trying to follow his teammate through. He's not going to try to make that one stick in through Paddock Hill. That's an insane idea, though. He gets a very good run there on the exit. A bit of a bump there. Tries to send it up the inside into Droots, and I think that's going to be 2 position gain, or 2 positions lost, I'm sorry, for X11, as both of the VLX machines get past the Kinetic Lexus.
Yeah. So now they go onward to do the next 2 drivers, which looks like Esmadalik and Judoka as well. Something to keep in mind as well is the BMW's fuel. The BMWs have used almost double as much fuel as some of the other drivers around here. So that pit stop might take into effect, and the drivers might get their positions back.
It's very much true here. Lamb now sitting in a 2.9 second advantage from Darkrai and Autista, with some serious company from Single Filer. Those 2 very close indeed here in the battle for 3rd place, the 2 Vipers.
Yeah, and they're not the only ones battling too. It looks like we have Lovejuice and Bonjour in 5th and 6th also battling, as well as Esmadalik and Judoka in 7th and 8th.
We do our best to keep eyes on all of those battles. Perhaps you're using the widest of camera shots available to see how many cars we can squeeze into the picture here, as Dr. Lovejuice is going to make a move on Bonjour Storm into Paddock Hill Bend, and he's going to squeeze that Cayman through on the inside. Very nice move indeed.
Bonjour Storm looks like he's going to have a response up the inside, but it is not. Dr. Lovejuice brakes a little bit too early, but he does hold the position.
Very nice move there from the Cayman.
He does go wide.
He's just having another look at it. The question is, did he go wide enough? Doesn't look like it. And out in front, Autista. Oh, Single Filer's getting past on Autista as well. Let's see if there is anything we can do to catch that move. Oh, there is, and it's into Surtees. Not the easiest of places to overtake and to actually make it stick.
Something to keep in mind too is Nova just passed Judoka and Esmadalik.
So Nova back in.
Overtake.
Oh, up into 7th place, and that's a very tight battle as well. With 4 cars more than close to one another. Gonna go for the Wang Cam here from Nova's BMW as he just touches the grass as well. Let's get Judoka, Huetzo, and the 1 McLaren in behind, and that's of course the car of Esmadalik, who's picked up a penalty that might have been for collisions. We're gonna go back to rewatch this situation here. Esmadalik really coming with a good run on the competitors around, but then being squeezed onto the outside of Westfield Corner, and that's not a nice place to be, just losing big speed. Still held on the outside. That's less than ideal. And that's how Esmadalik lost a multitude of positions. It's now 4 seconds between Lamp and Darkrai, and further 6.5 seconds down to Single Filer and Autista, who's separated by a second at the moment. Dr. Lovejuice got past Storm, and the Cayman seems to have made it stick on the Corvette behind.
Yeah, as we go further into the race too, it looks like it's going to be a one stop or no stop for some of these drivers, as Judoka goes a little bit wide and Wezo gets the pass done as well.
Oh,
Judoka
and
does
in
take that
behind,
position.
I'm sorry, but in behind that major drama is Medelik loses it big time there on the exit of Westfield. That's been a problematic corner for more than one driver so far this race. And here, or is it? I think we might be at some other point of the replay there.
Alright, we're seeing our first pit stop as X11 goes in.
It's a quick one indeed for X11. Is that only tires?
Probably going for that undercut. Probably only tires, yeah. It looks like fuel is not going to be a concern for most cars. Again, that BMW is going to have to look at the fuel gauge a lot more focused, I guess. Pay more attention to it, as again, the BMW drivers right now have about 50% of fuel, and the other drivers have about 70.
Very consistent pace, being just hundredths of a second off of his personal best time here as we're coming on to lap 10 with just under 15 minutes of the race gone. We're over a third of our way through the race by now, so no doubt that most of the cars will be able to go without refueling, so it's all about the tire wear from there on. Although Brands Hatch is known for being very hard on the tires indeed, so expect a couple of very short pit stops. That looks like a two-stopper. Of course, the two-stop window being open now, and it's not going to be long until the one-stop tire window opens as well for pit stops.
Yes. Nova is catching up to 6th position right now.
Yeah, both the VLX cars really, they've had the pace, but they've not had the luck so far in this race. As Nova is trying to make amends for that off. That on lap 2 or 3 was pretty early in affairs. Bonjour Storm is gonna have big job ahead of him. Oh, that's a bit of a flash there from Nova, who's more than close now, squeezing up the inside. I think this is gonna be the pass. It's gonna be very hard to defend.
Yep. Nova
Nova's up
passes into Sheen Curve. Doesn't look like Bonjour Storm is going to have a response though.
Just having a
As
second
Nova
look at it
takes that
here.
6th position.
Yeah. I think
one of our pole sitters goes into the pits.
yeah,
Looks like just fuel though, and tires.
Yeah, the NSX is actually not being as good on fuel as I expected him to. And Huetso also in there, that's going to be fuel as well. Judoka goes in without any of that. I think the Vipers should be good. They might also be having to fuel save a little bit, some of them, if they're trying to go to the end without refueling. Of course, it's a fine balance over that, because you need to make sure you don't lose too much track or time on track if you're going for the fuel save. Although at the moment it looks very good for Lamb, who looks to be on point for a one-stopper indeed. Oh, for once it's not... I'm sorry?
Darkrai is really abusing these track limits. If you take a look at his onboard camera, he is really pushing the limits.
I see it's on his way into Westfield on the outlap, going way onto the grass there on the inside.
Oh, we have a change in position, it looks like, between 4th and 5th.
Oh, that's Nova coming through on Dr. Lovejuice on the outside, and they're making contact as they're coming into turn 1. And just about keeps it under control in the end. It's a bit of touring car argy-barging. We're going to have another look at the overtake.
Looks like he might have lost the rear end there.
Sister was coming into the pits as well. Just a bit of a push between the two, but nothing serious. And that helped Darkrai get very close indeed, taking advantage of the pit stops. Now having to
Now
deal with
Darkrai is
traffic.
going for a move on Lovejuice, who does not defend it. He takes that 4th position.
Yeah, Lovejuice, having not had the pit stop yet, knows, I think, that there's really no use defending. It's just gonna end up costing time in the battle for 5th place at the moment against Bonjour Storm.
Lamb goes in as well.
Yeah, and seems to be good on fuel. Have used considerably less than Darkrai had a couple of laps ago when Darkrai was in.
Looks like Lamb didn't refuel though.
I think
and
Lamb
Nova goes into the pits for his first stop as well single filer.
Nova, look at that, 23% of fuel left in that car. That's not a lot, and that is a serious fuel disadvantage for the BMWs.
As we're halfway through this race, lap 13.
Yeah, look at that. Nova exits behind Bonjour Storm. And
looks
behind,
like Artista is looking to go for a move on Lovejuice.
Whoa, Wetzel lost it. Coming out of Paddock Hill. And the bad luck just keeps on getting worse for VLX here today. The traffic there coming out the pit lane might have put him off, I think. As those two were already close
to the battle between 4th and 5th. They are fighting fiercely for that 4th position right now.
Oh, and he got attacked, I think, by the Corvette as well. We're going to have a look at that 4th to 5th place battle between Artista and Dr. Lovejuice. Puerto Rico E Racing Club leading DNA. It's a Puerto Rican ahead of an American. It's a Viper ahead of a Porsche Cayman.
Yeah, I think Lovejuice had to serve a little bit of a penalty there, so Artista took full advantage of that and made a 8/10 gap, about to be 9. But yeah, Paddock Hill seems to be a huge pushing barrier for the drivers, because you can make up a lot of time, but as we've seen, you can also lose a lot.
Just having an outside look at what happened. Wetzel indeed touched by Bonjour Storm, I think it was. At least one of the two cars that were fighting. And Nova has gotten ahead of the Corvette of Bonjour Storm as well. So Nova's up into 6th place, around 6 seconds off of that battle for 4th place, still going on between Artista and Dr. Lovejuice, who was not put out of the slipstream by that penalty and still making back ground because they come down towards the back end of the circuit. Artista also setting personal best laps here at the moment. And has Artista been in? Yes, I think.
Artista has gone in, yes.
I'd imagine we've had the entire field in at this point, more or less.
Yeah.
So single filer seems to have really gained over the pit stop round as well. Now nursing a 6.7 second advantage.
Looks like there might be a battle coming up between 7th and 8th as well, Judoka and Bonjour Storm. Judoka has less fuel, but I think Bonjour has better tires, so we'll see who comes out on top there.
So an American manufacturer's battle between the Viper and the Corvette here. Judoka is very close to the rear end of the Frenchman in front. course, Bonjour Storm, or Avoop, as he's also called, is streaming this race on his Twitch profile if you want to have a bit of a driver's side view of things.
Yeah.
And he's a bit of a wizard as well when it comes to setting up stream stuff. We did an IGTL stream where he had all sorts of, he had videos for the entrance screen. He had all kinds of stuff, so they were actually really impressive. So a big shout out to Avoop on that regard. But he's having to defend route now from Judoka here up into Westfield.
Yeah.
Now trying to squeeze up on the inside, but he's keeping the Viper behind for now.
The thing about Judoka too is he could have gone down the inside of Bonjour there, but he didn't. He actually just tapped his bumper in the rear end, which means he might not even want to overtake Bonjour right now.
So he could be content with just trying to bump draft his way along and trying to gain on the rest of the field ahead. Lamb now leads by 18.1 seconds. That is an absolutely huge advantage.
Yeah, Darker I went in for the undercut, but he did fuel in the pits, and Lamb did not fuel. He fueled very little, which gave him that time gap to Darker Eye.
That makes good sense. Also, Single Filer is actually not too far from second place. The gap's just 3.5 seconds by now. So the Dutchman for Vanquish Esports having done a very good job of staying within touching distance. It's not gonna be enough, I think, by now, but let's see if any further gains will be possible to be made for a Single Filer as the race goes on here. Autista keeping around a second's worth of money down to Dr. Lovejuice and the Cayman. And then, of course, 7th, 8th, and also now 9th place here with Smedelik, the Portuguese, getting closer.
Yeah, so this might be a three-way battle for 7th coming up soon. Judoka also lost that exit speed through the final corner, so Bonjour Storm is going to gain a little bit there.
Yeah, is Smedelik 0.7 of a second down, already well within the slipstream. Shouldn't be a problem here. X11 into the pits. That's a little bit late. Is that a two-stopper, perhaps?
That is a two-stop strategy, yeah.
Indeed it is. And same goes for Fullness, who's also just exiting the pits in the second of the two Corvettes.
Yeah, speaking of two-stop as well, the BMWs did fuel enough so they will not have to make that two-stop by the looks of it.
That's going to be something to consolidate themselves with. That's going to mean that Nova can actually go for 6th or better. Of course, if they don't make any more mistakes. They've had troubled races, the two VLX drivers here today.
Yeah, Ismailik is now right on the tail of Judoka and Bonjour Storm, so this has become a three-way battle for 7th position. Looks like they're all being clean, keeping tidy as of now. Ismailik looks like he's going to get the top speed at the end of the straight, but he's not going to go for a move on Judoka, but rather
on the
going
exit
in for
there.
The undercut.
Indeed, on the
He
undercut.
goes down the inside, and that looks like 8th position for Ismailik. Will
Good.
Judoka have a response? It doesn't look like it.
No, I don't think so. It's a
At least
very
not
good
into
move
this
from the
next
Portuguese. It's a very good move indeed. But indeed, we've seen some very clean, fair racing here today. Oh, and I think someone's gone off. If not completely, then I think that was X11 before having what to me as well indeed looked like a big moment. We're on board with the Lexus driver here. Let's have another look. Oh yeah, that is not the line around there. Well kept. Very well kept in the end. It's been a tough race for the Kinetic boys as well. It's been smooth sailing for Lamb in front here, coming into the final 5 laps.
Looks like Matalik is going to go for a move on Bonjour Storm. No, he backs out though.
Those 3 cars are seriously close and very much worth keeping an eye on this battle here. I think Matalik gets a little bit of a bad run, goes defensive here into Droots. Has a very early apex, but keeps it going around, keeps the position nicely. Keeps it tucked to the inside there. Graham Hill corner, not a place to overtake now, down towards Surtees, but I don't think anyone is really close enough. Oh, I think Bonjour Storm.
I think Matalik is going to get the top end down the straight because of that exit.
Yeah, Bonjour Storm just missed the apex by the slightest of bits. He's now just trying to close off the Corvette, or the McLaren, I'm sorry, behind. But
and Judoka bumper taps is Matalik in the back as well.
Robin is racing, that's what they say about touring cars, and that very much seems to be true for these drivers as well. It's been kept at a fair level so far. We're moving towards the pointy end of affairs here, so it's coming down to
another battle has appeared on the radar as well. Looks like there may be a fight for position soon for 4th between Dr. Lovejuice and Autista.
It's an interesting one. Just gonna keep our eyes on this one here into Patakilla. I think there's a little bit of a nudge between his Matalik and Bonjour Storm, but look. That looked a little squeezy. Indeed it was, but they managed to keep it running here. As you say, a battle for 4th place. Well, that's very much true, as Dr. Lovejuice has done a brilliant job of catching up to Autista, and they might even have company from VLX Nova. If they don't give a move on here over the last couple of laps, it's less than 2 seconds, so it won't be long before that VLX BMW is within the slipstream of those cars in front. And it's been a very strong comeback from Nova until now, and it could have been so much more. So
yeah, Dr. Lovejuice is getting really close to Autista now, as Autista misses his braking point, but he manages to keep the position.
Well, then somehow gets a tap in the rear end from Dr. Lovejuice there through the Graham Hill corner. That's not gonna make Autista, I think, too happy. He doesn't want that to happen again. Nova's caught up by a second on this lap alone, so VLX Nova absolutely flying to catch the cars in front. And I think the Brit's gonna make short work of the 2 here in front of him before the finish line. As mentioned, still 3.5 laps remaining. That should be enough time to get a move in. Seems to have quite the pace advantage.
As Matalik is really trying his best to get around Bonjour Storm. Bonjour Storm is not having any of it whatsoever. And is fiercely defending that position of his.
Gonna go on board
as they go side by
Ju-
side into a clear way.
We're on board with Judoka for a premium view. I think Bonjour Storm goes a little wide on the exit, scrapes off a bit of speed, opens up the inside to his Matalik here down towards turn 1. He has the overlap, and the Frenchman has to concede.
For him.
But here comes the cutback. Oh, there's a bit of contact even, I think, and Judoka's on the outside might even really be the one to take advantage of this situation. It's more than close here, side by side. Judoka's pushed off onto the grass. Almost loses the rear end. Goes wide yet again. I don't think Judoka's too happy with that situation, but it was very close indeed in the end. Let's have another look here. Judoka went wide, they went side by side. There was a bit of a tap there from Bonjour Storm.
Yeah, track update as well. Nova has gone past Autista, and Dr. Lovejuice and is up in 4th position.
So that was indeed very short work. Let's see.
It also looks like Dr. Lovejuice has gone past Autista as well somehow, so...
Yes, that's very much true. Autista having lost 2 positions in the space of a single lap here. So we're coming in towards the final 2 laps of action. It's Nova for virtual life experience, having recovered quite well down or back up into 4th place after having been through quite a bit of bad luck earlier in this one. It's been even worse for his teammate Wetzel. Sorry. Single Filer has done a brilliant job so far. It's actually still closing the gap up to Dark right in front. I think the Dutchman's just about gonna run out of road, as it's still 2.3 seconds.
Yeah, and his teammate Lamb as well is doing very consistently with that 24-second gap to second.
Yeah, Lamb has been gone from pretty early days in this race and has never looked like making any sort of mistakes that could put anyone else into contention for this race. There has really been a lot of doubt as to who would walk away with the race win here from the first round of the ESGT GT4 series. Single Filer really trying to put on the pressure. But I think those 2.4 seconds is going to be a bridge too far as we come on to the final lap. For these 2 cars at least, that means that Lamb is of course well onto it. We've still got battle for 4th place as well here, as Dr. Lovejuice is still somewhat within grasping distance of ELX Nova in front, but I think that's going to require a mistake from the ELX BMW driver.
We go into our final lap of Brands Hatch for round 1 of the GT4 series.
So is Matalik now well and truly up into 7th place with a 2-second gap down to Bonjour Storm? Judoka.
Lamb looks like he might lose it.
Lamb has lost it! Lamb has lost it all on his own on the final lap. That's absolutely incredible.
I don't think the gap to Darkrai is too great though for Darkrai to make any type of move because of that.
He's gonna be happy he had such a massive advantage and had driven a perfect race up until here. No damage for him to contend with as well.
Lamb does finish the race in the pits though, as typical Lamb behavior. As the Division 1 provisional winner for the round 1 of the GT4 series is Lamb, representing Team Phoenix Esports. And don't forget Darkrai, his teammate, who is going to close out the 2nd position, and Single Filer closing out the 3 podium positions for this first race.
Really good race from Single Filer. I think really getting the most of it from the Viper here as Nova just gets rid of the penalty. It's Dr. Lovejuice for DNA in 5th place. Autista comes home for, I think, what will be 6th for Puerto Rico E-Racing
Looks
Club.
like Huzo got pushed a little bit wide by Judoka into the final corner as well.
We'll have a look at that. We'll have an immediate look at that.
All right. And as the final drivers cross the line, these are your provisional results because the ESGT officials can change any position and apply penalties as needed. We have the first two positions, Lamb and Darkrai, both representing Team Phoenix Esports. And in third, locking out the podium position, we have Single Filer representing Vanquish Esports. Fourth position, we have Nova. Fifth position, we have Autista. Sixth is Dr. Lovejuice. Seventh is Ismatalik. Eighth is Bonjour Storm. Ninth is Judoka from Team DNA. We have Huzo, position 10. Fullness and X11, both from Team Kinetic, are in 11th and 12th respectively. And Pamago finishes his final lap right now in 13th position.
So big congratulations to the Phoenix Esports boys for that 1-2.
Yep, and we are going to stay live for a little bit to see if any of the drivers would like to give us their thoughts, any comments, and stuff like that.
An eventful race, it has to be said. I think we were served with some very good racing, some close battling, some big moments, some drama, a very good start to affairs as well. It could have been it's a bit of a think about what could have been for virtual life experience, who certainly had the pace, but who apparently didn't quite have the consistency here today. Perhaps being forced to push a little bit too far in order to keep up with the pace of the NSXs.
Yep.
The single Lexus, there was two Lexi, both at the bottom of affairs today, with Kinetic X11 and Pamigo fielding the Lexuses. They were not having a good day out there at all. Fullness and Bonjour Storm in the Corvettes, not really enjoying this track as well, I think. But other than that, a very nice mix of the cars at the head of affairs, of course, looking away from those two NSXs. But the gap between Darkrai and Single Filer at the end, only 2.2 seconds. So,
yeah. Fairly matched on pace, I'd say. I mean, this is Division 1-2. All of these drivers are extremely quick. This is like the best of the best that you're going to get from ESGT GT4 right here, so.
Indeed, and some of the top level drivers around in the world of Gran Turismo, when we're talking Lamb and Darkrai, who's both been to FIA World Tour events, and I think a couple of the other drivers might have been as well. I'm not actually sure, but with those two Phoenix Esports drivers, I know for a fact that they've been. So that says a little bit about the level of competition that we've got going on here in the ESGT. Of course, thanks to you all for tuning in here tonight. It doesn't exactly seem like we are getting joined by any of the drivers. I don't know how long you usually keep the window
we'll
open.
See. We'll give them time to sort themselves out a little bit.
Yeah.
Right now, there's huge discussion over the penalty rules, which again are if it's a contact penalty, you don't have to serve it. And if it's a shortcut penalty, you do on the next available straight off the racing line. But a lot of the drivers seem to be discussing that right now.
But I think, to be fair to the drivers who are having this discussion, the sign being, it can, I think, be a little bit difficult for the drivers to differentiate between, you know, what type of penalty were they given, and they have to,
Yes,
to actually
exactly.
serve that penalty. We've been joined by Darkrai, who put his NSX into second position, both on pole and on the final standings here today. Big congratulations to the Phoenix esports team for grabbing that 1-2. Darkrai, what are your thoughts on the race here?
Looks like he might be sorting out some mic issues right now.
Yeah, it seems like it. Sounds going on and off and on and should be on now.
Wait, can y'all hear me? Okay.
Yep.
Yep, there we go.
Just gonna turn you up a bit. Yep, you should be
Yeah, I
good.
pretty much did. I just did it. I was not even pushing hard. Just wanted to just get to the as quickly as possible. That's literally what I was trying to do the whole race, because I really don't like track, especially with this. So.
Well, regardless how much you like the track or dislike the track, I mean, you finished second out of the 13 drivers, so.
Yeah, at least, but I needed to do better. So.
And Darkrai, what's your look at the start there? Lost 2 positions coming into turn 1. What's your view on that situation?
The NSX doesn't get off the line well compared to the M4, so I knew I was gonna be like 4th at the start because I was on the outside as well, and I knew Guizo and Nobu of the BMW start, so I wasn't really concerned about it. I just stayed behind them front tires.
Well, that's Darkrai having found the crystal ball before the race, and as you all know, the crystal ball doesn't lie. Indeed, 4th place it was coming into turn 2, but in the end, a very good race, a very good result for Phoenix esports, and yeah, congratulations on that one. Let's have a word with our race winner, who is here as well. It's Lamb as well for Phoenix esports.
Hello.
Hello, Lamb.
Lamb.
Lamb, that got very shaky on the last lap from you. Did you just lose concentration, or what happened?
Well, I mean, when you're driving Brands Hatch for 24 laps, and it's the most boring track in the world, and you're just sitting there trying not to make a mistake for like half an hour, I pushed a little bit too hard. I dropped the third gear, and I just understeered. And I was like, maybe I can catch this. And then I didn't catch it, and then I crashed. And I was like, well, I have a 25-second lead, so it's not the worst thing in the world. But I had to go to the pits for shame. You know, I could have gotten a 25-second race win, but I threw it into the wall. So I had to square up with a good run through the pits, give myself a go penalty, I guess.
How did you manage to keep the lead and keep that gap generally throughout the entire race? Because both Virtual Life Experience drivers were really pushing hard to try and overtake you in the first 2 laps or so. How did you manage that?
Well, Brands Hatch is a really narrow track, and it's very difficult to overtake, especially in cars that have similar straight line speeds. So essentially, all I really did was, like, Brands Hatch is a track where there's so many high-speed corners that are wide-angled that you can pretty much, you know, early brake, light brake into every corner and just coast in, come out no problem. You get about you're a little bit slower, maybe like 2/10 slower lap, maybe 1/10 if compared to like going all out, but you save so much tires and so much fuel in the process that when cars can't pass you in the first place, it's better to stay safe. But Brands Hatch really is a track where you can play very conservatively and keep very similar pace. So I just played careful the entire time and worked out.
All right. Any finishing thoughts that you would like to say?
I don't like Brands Hatch. I don't. I hate it, but it was alright, I guess.
Yeah. Good race win. Congratulations. Now we have car number 91, Bonjour Storm, who finished, I think, 7th overall.
P8. Bonjour Storm.
P8.
Bonjour, Whoop.
Hello guys. Yeah, P8 in the middle of the pack. It's my objective, finish P8. So I'm quite good with these results. First of all, congratulations to you, Lamb and Jack, for your P1 and P2. But yeah, it was a quite good race, quite fun. Some drama in the pack, but yeah, it was fun. Nice battle in the end with Ismadelik and Judoka, from DNA. So
Yeah. About that battling, can you explain like more in depth how you were feeling and how you were thinking about the moves and defensive moves and all that into that battle?
Yeah, first of all, the first thing is that I ate so much Bronze Hatch, so I was very slow, very, very slow. And with the drama, the penalty, all this stuff, I was P5 at one moment, P5 or P6. And after the pit stop, I was with Ismadelik behind me and Judoka. And I have absolutely no pace at all. I was so slow. I saw them behind me trying to overtake me on the left, on the right. I was trying to defend all I can, but yeah, at the end I have to let Ismadelik pass in front of me. But yeah, I was not really confident on this track. I was really slow. But yeah, I'm pretty happy of how it finished. P8. It was my objective, but yeah.
All right. Any other thoughts you would like to tell the viewers? Thank someone?
No, just thank you to the organizers for the race. It was really fun. It was really intense race. Really fast in front. Congrats, guys. And I hope for the next round on Laguna Seca I will be more prepared and maybe a bit quicker on the track.
All right. Thank
With
you
that
for your
said,
thoughts.
yeah.
Storm.
Thanks for our
Thanks a lot.
drivers
Thanks to you
interviews.
Yeah.
Drivers tuning in. Thanks to our privateer, the only privateer of Division 1, Avoop, also known as Bonjour Storm, the driving meme that goes around.
But yeah, tune in next time, round 2, Laguna Seca, February 18th. We head to America for round 2 of the ESGT GT4 series. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and use the hashtag ESGT for all of your social media posts and whatnot. We appreciate you guys watching. I'm Chompy18.
And I'm DirtenDK. It's been a great pleasure. And until next time, take care, have fun, and bye-bye.